We are living in knowledge economy. That is, we use our knowledge to create things, and to create knowledge, we have specialized in every aspect of life. First, we had doctors, then they split into internal medicine and surgical medicine, then new specializations came under both, and then under obviously specialty, we have seen medical doctors only specialize in one or two diseases. And it's not just science or technology. Businesses created incredible complex structures to benefit from the quantum leap in the knowledge. And for example, first we had salespeople in business, then we divided them into sales and marketing. Then marketing split into communication, branding, direct marketing, and then internet came and the digital marketing born. And that was like 15 years ago, and it's not enough today. Now we have countless specialties under digital marketing, like SEO marketing, email marketing, performance marketing, content marketing, influencer marketing, geo marketing, real time marketing. Do you want me to continue, really? You get the idea. As we go deeper into the rabbit hole, we created new knowledge after another, and to handle that, we created new specialties around them. Knowledge economy is all about growth through creating new knowledge. This knowledge driven specialization constructed in incomprehensible organizational structures. And knowledge economy is now operating over that delicate structure to harvest returns from its investment, the intricate networks of human intelligence. We will talk about knowledge economy and its dynamics in the future videos. And if you don't want to miss, subscribe my channel now. But for the time being, keep this in mind. Knowledge economy seeks growth, and that growth is driven by value. So, how is value created? It is the innovation that sources value creation today, and innovation is the output of human intelligence, or to put it simply, the networks of people. This is the model at play in knowledge economy, but it is about to be updated. Why is that? Because knowledge economy gave birth to artificial intelligence. All those specialties, capabilities, networks we built through our entire life are now threatened to become useless because AI will do any specialty task better than you do once it is trained with the entire related knowledge. That's an existential crisis for our generation. Suddenly, we found ourselves talking about how AI will left us unemployed, and it is just the early days of artificial intelligence economy. One day the capital was human intelligence, the next day capital will be artificial intelligence. A lot of people are suggesting that AI will left you unemployed unless you escape the specialist trap and become a generalist and learn how to learn continuously. I partially agree with them. There will be an opportunity window for being a generalist between ANI and AGI. So, what are they? ANI is artificial narrow intelligence. It is what we currently have as the technology. It focuses on doing tasks, following a given instruction by imitating human behavior, yet specialized only in one area. On the other hand, AGI, artificial intelligence, is what every big tech company wants and currently investing in. Goal of AGI is to teach machines to understand human emotions, beliefs, and thought processes, not an imitation, and to perform any type of smart task that is not just specialized, just like a human. Experts agree that we will see AGI in our lifetime, be it in 5 years or 25 years. I would bet on 20 years because we are still not sure about how we create beliefs and thoughts. Brain is a mystery to us. And another reason that may delay a full grown AGI is the fact that advanced robotics is still lagging well behind the current AI leap. We might see some practical AGIs based on the current belief theories, who knows? But I mean, it's safe to say that being a generalist can help you work your way out in this economic transition at least for the maybe 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 years. And probably as artificial narrow intelligence become better, Some specialist tasks will be handed over to it, and eventually we might expect that a nice capability will be enhanced to perform all required specialty tasks. And not all specialties will have the same pace to transform, but in 20 years or so, we will see it is performing almost all of the tasks in many specialties. Considering the dynamics of knowledge economy, I might speculate that the first specialties and the tasks to be transitioned into AI economy will be based on a couple of criteria, like tasks that are not well performed by human but if done properly will have the highest return. One example that comes to my mind is performance marketing and its subdomains, because it is a highly complex area in growth marketing and it can be really time and money consuming to find an optimal. And some of the current top AI developers are Meta and Google, who also owns the marketing platforms. They have the capacity and the capability to build ANIs to perform at least some sort of optimization. Another criteria will probably look to the tasks that are well performed by human but takes too much time to complete. So by shortening it, AI can create an actual value. For example, business tasks requiring too much data handling, like auditing financial records or data cleaning or quality inspections. Actually, there exist some machine learning algorithms that perform some of these tasks today. The final criteria can be utilizing ANIs developed for performing one or couple of tasks in one area to perform in other specialty tasks with minimum required change because of the similarity in their nature. This cuts the development costs and may yield good returns actually. So, how one specialist can turn themselves into a generalist within this transformation? That's the question we are looking for an answer today. In the next few months, look for tasks that are not well performed in your business and tasks that take too much time and create inefficiencies in your organizations. If you have capability or have resources to bring a capacity together, go for developing your ANIs for those tasks. If not, try to avoid being more specialized in those areas. Find yourself another one. However, for the next 20 years, I highly suggest you to incorporate lifelong learning philosophy into all aspects of your life. Learning is about curiosity, and one cannot learn to become curious. It's intuitive. Anyone and everyone living in this world have their own curiosities. Maybe some of them have not come across yet. One cannot become curious out of pure necessity. However, it is true that the driving forces are usually the desire to know and understand, and obviously to solve. You have to look around to find yours. For me, it is to understand the formation of our mental models and the ways to alter them to create value for all. Here is the first three steps to become a generalist, a useful framework that I call the building foundations of architect thinking. Experience everything around you consciously for two obvious reasons. First, it helps you to discover your curiosities, and second, to collect as many as possible data and information from the world around you. For the events that triggered your curiosity, channel what you have already collected and known into DIKW funnel and construct an iceberg using your current specialty, which I will explain in a moment. And then define your data, information, and knowledge gaps out of the scope of your specialty to improve your construction skills and form a learning activity to grasp the knowledge you needed. As you start learning new things, you will unlock new curiosities of yours and you will build your own generalist style rooted in your specialty that's entirely unique to you. So, let's unfold the framework step by step, beginning with what a conscious experience is. This topic is actually a rather complex one, and there exists an entire literature and academic researches about it. And I'm neither an expert or a researcher on this topic. However, I try my best to explain what is conscious experience. First, let's look at experience. Experience, in general terms, is the processing of an input and creating an outcome as an action or interaction and recording everything in between to your mind, body, and soul. And it is an entirely subjective phenomenon. It has nothing to do with the outside input actually, but it is all about how we processed, reacted, and stores everything. Conscious experience is specifically the processing and recording of an interaction, not an action. Action is more related to unconscious experience. So, what is conscious? That is another hard question to answer, but let's look at for what is helpful for us to operate this framework. We all have two systems constantly working together for our survival. Kahneman called them System 1 and System 2. One is operated by our unconscious mind and two is operated by our conscious mind. And second one is activated by attention. However, we don't know much about the attention mechanism itself, yet there are some categorical events that nudge the attention, like seeing unfitting numbers or words, calling out your name or profession, or a problem that you have, etc. So, conscious experience is triggered by an input that nudges your attention and processes it through a relevant mechanism during our interactions operated by our conscious mind, as well as creating and storing outcomes. For a quick example, assume that you were on a trip last week and now you are driving to your home from another state, and after a very long, straight, and empty road, there is a traffic light ahead, and as you get close to it, it turns to red. Suddenly, you are alert and you are supposed to react within the range from taking a full break to a gradual slowdown depending on how close you are. During that very long driving session, your unconscious mind was handling the driving task actually. Of course, you were not unconscious, but due to the lack of triggers like no cars, no turns, no traffic lights, your conscious mind does not need to intervene to take any decisions. Your mind was simply in autopilot mode. And once the traffic light changes to red, suddenly a trigger is received by your eyes, and based on your knowledge and previous experiences, your brain tells you to stop. And at that very moment, your conscious mind takes the driver's seat and alerts all of your senses to collect as many as data possible from the surrounding. It simultaneously processes all data received, like your distance to traffic light, your speed, checking whether there are any pedestrians or cars around the crossroad, etc., and decides how to slow down in a very brief moment and acts. That part of your ride is the conscious experience, and the performance of your actions will be stored back to your experience pool. Remember, your body, your mind, and your soul, and will be used as a quick guide for your next drive. Alright, now let's look at what is DIKW and iceberg and how they are related to conscious experience, right? DIKW or DIKIW is a model used to explain human understanding through creating a hierarchy among data, information, knowledge, intelligence. Although some sources omit this step from the model, but I believe it is relevant for us to talk about today. And finally, the wisdom. It is usually shown as a pyramid, but unorthodox to common representation, I like to visualize it like a funnel. Think of a funnel that represents our understanding process. Insert layers of filters that help you to strain value. And at the top of the funnel, there is data. collected through means of various elements from the environment you are in. Then this data is processed and analyzed to generate a valuable information so that we can internalize this information as our knowledge to guide our decision mechanisms, which in the end creates a form of intelligence through restructuring our mental processing. And finally, we strain the very essence in the form of wisdom. If you have noticed, data, information, and knowledge is all about past. That you collected data, you processed and analyzed them to extract an information, and then you internalize it as your knowledge, which in the end fed into your intellect pool through restructuring your mental processing. They were all happened in the past. The intelligence is about now. It starts at the moment your attention is grabbed. You use your intelligence to pull your intellect, update it with the newly given piece of information or data, and create a reasonable action through recalling your wisdom, and then collect a reaction from the environment and iterate it the same cycle until the interaction ends. And finally, wisdom is about future. You learn from your experience. You note the important lessons to update your intellect by modifying your mental processes to enhance your future decisions. Let's continue with the same driver example in the conscious experience, but make it a little bit spicier to present things better for you. You were on a very long, straight, and empty road, and you are reaching to a crossroad with a traffic light. It's incredibly bright sunny day, and you have no sunglasses with you. Now assume that there are four white buildings at the each corner of the crossroad, and they block your full sight. And let's add two cars on the scene. One is white, one is blue. Blue one is visible from the angle you look, and white one on the other side is a little bit behind, blocked by the white building at that corner, and both are waiting to pass. You are 10 meters away from the traffic lights, and suddenly your light turns into red. Now, your attention is triggered. Your conscious mind immediately jumps into the driver's seat and hits the brake hard without a second thought and starts to process data from the environment. It captures the blue car, checks the possibility of cars slowing down successfully to prevent a car crash, and by using the intelligence recalls all the relevant knowledge and calculates everything and predicts it is not going to work, so recalculates again to create another action, decides to turn to prevent a car crash, but then there is a white car and there is no time to process another iteration to escape, so he hits the white car and hopefully no injuries. This flow kind of represents the funnel in operation, which can help you to understand the construction, yet it still tells the half of the story. The complementary part is the iceberg model. In system thinking, we use iceberg model to cascade down the reasoning behind any investigated event. It simply recalls a metaphor that tells you that there is more to know below what you see actually. Assume that this is our iceberg. What you see at the top is an event occurring, illuminated by the sunlight visible to your eyes, and just under it, we have patterns and trends. Not readily visible, but once you are very close to that iceberg, you can see that some sunlight shedding a piece of it, signaling to you that there is more below the surface. If you wear your goggles and diving suit and dive into the ice cold water, you will see the underlying structures, or I like to call them the systems behind the patterns. And if you have capacity to go even deeper, what you will find at the bottom of the iceberg is the mental models that designed those systems. Alright, let's elaborate our example further. The next day, you have come to work and a huge pile of tasks are waiting for you. At lunchtime, you are telling the traffic accident you caused to one of your colleagues. And then he tells you how clumsy he was during the last week while you were on vacation. This complaint brings your attention, and later that day, you heard that one of the managers resigned when you were away. Now you have three different events that might represent a pattern, and you start to think whether workload might be one of the reasons for your accident actually, because your mind was so full in the last 6 months. You needed to take a little break to calm your mind down, but maybe it wasn't enough. You and your team have been working on too many projects expected to be delivered to your clients this week. Actually, in the last 6 months, you are dealing with a rain of projects higher than usual. At this point, if this issue kicks off your curiosity, you start to wonder why this is happening and questions start to popping in your mind. Do management team aware of the burden? Why didn't they negotiate the deadlines with the clients? Is this the way of working now? Or are there any inefficiencies in my work or in our processes? How to find and solve them? If not, will they hire more people? You have many questions in your mind. And at that very moment, your mind weighs the challenge you are facing. If your skills does not match up with the weight of the challenge, your first instinct starts to tell you that you cannot do anything about this. If you listen to this, you will reject herald of a new journey that will lead to become a generalist, but probably you will look for a new job to go away from there. However, if you accept the challenge, you will unlock a new learning path and you will stack new skills that will help you discover and understand the underlying structures that cause this issue. And if you continue to investigate, you will be able to reveal some mental models that created those structures. When you draw the entire picture of systems, you will explore possible interventions to solve problems, and maybe you can persuade your organization to try some of them. And maybe they can't be useful that much in the end, but all these new skills and understanding will help you to construct your new generalist version. Through my journey, I have encountered many issues, and each time I prioritized learning from them rather than simply running away. If you like to explore underlying structures, systems, and mental models, and ways to intervene in those structures, wait for my future videos. I will talk a lot about them. And if you don't want to miss, subscribe my channel now and hit the bell button to get notified. Before closing, I like to clear potential confusions on how to decide to dive in. You need to understand and answer these three questions honestly before accepting the herald. First one, are you curious enough to become strictly inquisitive about the issue you are in? Second one, if you are sure about your curiosity but still listening and approving your first instincts, is it because of your insecurities or because of other priorities in your life? And third one, do you have shiny object syndrome? Honestly, these are very hard questions to answer, and if you can answer the first question yes and the third question no, just dive in and go with the flow. You will see it is so natural and just to be in that water. For the other cases, let's leave them for now to be explored in future as this video is getting already too long. However, one final note. Please do not just dive into the depths of every iceberg for the sake of being generalist. You need to accept the complexity of this world and one's inability to understand everything. Your curiosity matters most because it will provide you the energy required for this inquisition. Check your curiosity. It is always good to experience world around you consciously and collect data, information and learn from them and interpret some trends and patterns you see. They will increase your intellectual level and help you find your natural curiosities. And yes, constant use of conscious mind actually cause you fatigue. But frankly, do you have any better option? If you are not experiencing anything at all, what are you doing in this world? As Shams Tabrizi once told, instead of resisting to changes, surrender. Let life be with you, not against you. If you think my life will be upside down, don't worry. How do you know down is not better than the upside? See you next time.